Sympathy to the President of the United States of America, Barack Obama, on the loss of life of innocent civilians occasioned by an evil and brutal act of terror in Orlando, Florida over the weekend. In correspondence sent to the U.S. President, Mr. Stewart said Barbados, like other peace-loving and free societies, repudiates such barbarity and the affront to human dignity. Mr. Stewart says he's confident that the resilience of the American people will serve them in good stead as they seek to recover from this outrageous deed. The Prime Minister says at this time of sorrow and mourning, the government and people of Barbados are praying for the bereaved and for the safety of the people of the United States of America. An 18-year-old man was arrested in the courtyard of the Bridgetown Magistrates Court this morning with a Glock in his possession. He was apparently searched by a security guard as he tried to enter the court compound and was found to be wearing several pants with the weapon concealed underneath. The youth has been identified as Shaquille Greenidge of Kensington Lodge, St. Michael. In confirming the incident, police say they detained a man who had a loaded firearm in his possession at the main gate of the District A Magistrates Court complex. A statement said that a government security guard on duty at the entrance to the court compound, along with police officers, stopped and questioned the man attempting to gain access. A struggle then ensued and the youth was held. A St. Peter man accused of a hit-and-run accident has been remanded to Her Majesty's Prison at Dodds until tomorrow. He appeared in the Whole Town Magistrates Court today to answer a number of charges related to yesterday's accident at Speightstown, St. Peter. Now, police say 43-year-old Derek Sherlin Noel of Batley's was charged with failing to stop at an accident and driving without due care and reasonable consideration. He is also charged with having no road tax, insurance, or valid driver's license. He was also charged with failing to register his motor vehicle and having fraudulent use of number plates. The charges resulted from an accident which occurred on the Speightstown bypass route, where 13-year-old Zawadi Jolts was struck by a vehicle. Zawadi's injuries were not life-threatening. One house was destroyed and another slightly damaged after a fire in Waterhall Land Eagle Hall in St. Michael earlier today. Fire officials say the blaze started around 8:15 this morning. Among the properties destroyed was a wooden house owned by Corey Brewster. He says when he noticed the fire, he woke up his friend and got him to safety. In spite of his best efforts, Brewster lost everything in the flames, including his dog. He says he's still not sure what caused the blaze.
I don't know, I just went to carry some clothes there by my friends and I had to wash, come in washing machine, mash it just a couple of days ago. And when I was walking coming back, I guess he's...
Ambulance personnel were called in as the smoke started to affect the health of some in the community. The blaze spread to the neighboring house of 99-year-old Rosalie Bailey, prompting her and her family to remove their belongings. Ms. Bailey says although things were very frantic, she is pleased that everyone in the area came together to help.
Put me in the neighbor gallery to sit down. So I sit down there and all the rather different fellows and things, but they come and take all the things out the house.
Right.
Well, the grand girl that does with me, she was so hysterical, she didn't know what to do. She started to cry. She said, don't cry. I ain't crying. She said, you won't cry about the water still running down with oil. So, everything was okay. The neighbors and the boys okay. They turned out very good.
3 water tenders and 10 officers responded to the emergency. Valerie residents have called for a heavier police presence in the area, and the force says it will be done. This came out of a walkthrough in the St. Michael district this afternoon by a contingent of officers. Ken Jerson was there and filed this report.
The tour by lawmen was led by Senior Superintendent with Oversight Command for Operational Services, Euclid Thompson. It followed a recent shooting death in the area of Valerie Playing Field and was an opportunity for the police to hear the concerns and recommendations of residents. This was one of the things they heard.
The police could come in the area more regular, you know what I mean? Continue to do the regular checkups and be more friendly.
Senior Superintendent Thompson says it will happen.
Some people have already said to me that they need a greater police presence, and that has to be definitely examined, and for sure everything will be done to ensure that happens.
He also relayed some of the other concerns.
In fact, we've also heard too that some of the issues in this community really are not within the bosom of the residents, that there are people who are coming in and creating difficulties. So that too has to be looked at. And in fact, we have encouraged people to feed us with the requisite information as to the people who really don't belong to the districts or the communities that come in.
The senior officer added that the link between guns and illegal drugs cannot be overlooked.
Right across the spectrum of Barbados, the situation with drugs, and I think that most of the time you hear drugs, there's a linkage with drugs and firearms, and I think the recent incident, which was firearm-based, will speak to that.
He also said the force will focus on crime prevention programs through its community policing department. Reverend Senator Dr. David Durant, senior pastor of Restoration Ministries in Britons Hill, says his church is also prepared to play its part.
With the help of the government agencies and corporate Barbados, I intend to do some things with this part, all right, to make it much livelier, and because this is one of the things they complained about this morning.
The lawmen left after about 90 minutes, promising to discuss the information gathered with a view to implementing strategies to try and bring lasting peace to this community. Kent Jerson, CBC News.
Well, coming up, an update on vending on the Charles Duncan O'Neill Bridge. Stay with us.
Don't let your data experience slow you down. Step up to Digicel, Barbados' fastest 4G network, more than twice as fast as the slow network. Get more with Digicel. Digicel, the fastest 4G network in Barbados. Dial *153 to sign up to Digicel today.
When we use our passion to create something special, we cherish the experience that brings the result. It isn't always smooth sailing, but that's the beauty of it. Because through experience and the help of knowledgeable partners, we learn and grow together. And we dream bolder dreams for the future. Confident that your passion and our expertise will bring an ever bright tomorrow. ICBL, always there when you need us most.
Stock up on canned and dry food, batteries, torches and tape. Update your medicine kit, have a 2-week supply of water, and know your hurricane shelter.
I love my children, and I will do anything to protect them. This season, we are hurricane ready. We have our disaster essentials. Stacked up on canned and dry goods. We have our 2-week supply of water. And we updated our medicine kit.
And we know where the closest hurricane shelter is.
Be ready. Be hurricane ready.
A message from the Barbados Government Information Service and the Department of Emergency Management.
Festival Friday puts you on the front line with a costume from Into the Blue with the contact band for this crop over. Listen for the daily question until June 17th. Answer all 10 questions and send the answers to contests at cbc.bb. The first correct entry drawn wins a frontline costume with contact bands Into the Blue. Today's question is, 98.1 had a series of parties this year to celebrate its anniversary. What were they called? Remember, answer all the questions and send the answers to contests at cbc.bb.
Vending on the Charles Duncan O'Neill Bridge just outside the Fairchild Street bus terminal is now a thing of the past. This declaration from the manager of markets, Sherlock King. It was one of the issues highlighted as he led the media on a tour of the city in light of the recent police crackdown on illegal vendors. Shane Seeley has that story.
It's a decision that has left a sour taste in the mouths of vendors who have been plying their trade on this bridge for years. Manager of markets Sherlock King has made clear there will be no more vending on the Charles Duncan O'Neill Bridge now or in the future, and the same applies to the Chamberlain Bridge. He told reporters during the city vendors assessment tour, this is nothing new.
We have not issued permits for persons to sell on the bridge itself for, my take is about 6 years or so. Okay, we'll have to double check, but we have not issued any permits for that bridge at all.
So basically no vending is permitted on that bridge?
Is permitted. No licensed vending is permitted on that bridge. And any vending that takes place on that bridge would be, without those vendors will be operating with a permit.
The manager of markets comments come after a recent police crackdown on illegal vending in the city, where vendors without permits were removed. Mr. King acknowledged that the move sparked outrage among the vending community, but he says there are serious issues that must be taken into consideration.
Everybody cannot be accommodated on the streets. We all appreciate that. And in addition to that, we are also aware of the issue with respect to security and safety for the general public. So any decision that we take will have to be taken against the background that we're looking at sanitation, the issue of pedestrian traffic, and balancing that with the demands and requirements of the vendors who may have, for some extent purposes, children and a livelihood, and they want to make an income. So we are not oblivious of that.
Meanwhile, the Barbados Association of Retailers, Vendors and Entrepreneurs is supporting the action of the Agriculture Ministry, removing vendors without valid permits. President Alistair Alexander agrees it will help to better regulate the industry, but he's concerned about the removal of vendors from Marhill Street.
Barvin backs vending on Marhill Street. On Marhill Street. We think that Marhill Street is both the best street in the city for vending. It had and it has license that has not been renewed for a number of years. But again, we welcome very much this initiative.
The manager of markets insists that his team will try to come up with solutions to the problems facing vending in the city very soon, in the best interest of vendors and the public. Shane Seeley, CBC News.
Well, for the third time in 48 hours, lawmen are dealing with yet another case of a sudden death. Initial reports suggest that a middle-aged man from the Bell Gully in St. Michael area was at a shop in the Bell when he collapsed and died sometime after 5 this afternoon. Up to late this evening, lawmen were still on the scene carrying out investigations, but initial reports suggest that no foul play is suspected. The Sand, Sea and Soca event is back again for its second season. This year, organizers have raised the bar, giving patrons more opportunities to learn about some of the island's top soca artists.
The second season of Sand, Sea and Soca started last evening at a new venue, Pure Ocean Restaurant in St. Lawrence Gap.
Last year we kind of grew out of Wisers. Wisers is a nice cozy spot, but we realized that every week we ended up having people standing and people couldn't even see the stage and stuff like that. So that kind of encouraged us a bit that we needed to expand the show. It kind of grew faster than we thought it would, and Pure Ocean decided to come on board and say, you know what, we're going to give you our space.
The organizers have also responded to the public's demand and have increased the number of shows.
Last year we ended up having 5. Yeah, this year we have pushed to 7. We would like to do a little more. The idea is that we would like it to span for the whole, like from June to July, covering the whole season every week. Last year we took the approach of doing every other Wednesday because we weren't sure how it was going to go. This year we've pushed the envelope a little more. We're trying to do it every single week.
Veteran broadcaster Admiral International HD will host the event and is also pleased with the concept.
I think it's a great idea. You know, it's amazing
that we've got so many good artists among us and we really don't know much about them. We've seen them in the stage, on the Calypso tent, at various events. But who are these people? And this is what this show seeks to do. It seeks to tell the people of Barbados exactly who their stars really are. I am so honored to be a part of this show, and I certainly wish the organizers well.
The night's featured artist was Mr. Blood. He took patrons on a musical journey with some of his songs from the last decade.
Where the crew? I want to know where the crew. The song is better. Where the crew, where the crew, where the crew, where the crew.
Some of the artists expected to grace the Sand, Sea and Soca stage this season include but are not limited to Gabby, Griner and Adrian Clark. Lisa Lord, CBC News.
Still to come, a look at some of the stories making headlines across the region.